2024 has been an incredible year for me in terms of my running, all the things I've achieved, the highs, the lows, thankfully more of the former. And it's great to have a look back at the end of the year and just remember all the stuff I've done. It was a year with lots of firsts, but let's go back to the start and see how it all began.
Almost at the end of the field, I think I can see the wall around the old church there and some ruined part of the building.
So, as the year kicked off in January, I'd just finished my base training for the Shires and Spire Ultra that I was due to do in May, and as part of the training I was getting out and about on the trails, including this visit to an old ruined church from many centuries ago, which I'd never managed to get to before. Had a look around the place. It was quite cut off, tricky to get to, but I enjoyed my little visit there.
This may have just been the original chapel or church, and then later on this porchway was added to it.
As the training ramped up and I was doing longer and longer runs at the weekend, I decided to tackle the South Chesterfield Way, a 17-kilometre trail route that I really enjoyed exploring, even though even that had its ups and downs.
Okay, this is turning into a bit more of an adventure than I think I was ready for today. Not going to risk trying to climb over and through the massive trees and things there. I don't know where I'm trying to get to, and it's pretty much impassable. The whole thing is just blocked, so I need to find a way round, which will be fun since I've never been here before and my maps are playing up and my phone battery's down to 40%. Oh god, I'm beginning to wish I'd discovered this bit of trail before. It's really nice, just running along the ridge of the hill now, so it's not too steep, but the view down the valley from all along the trail is really cool. I have to keep stopping to admire it. And the path's really well maintained. Being on the top of the hill, it's not too wet. Plenty of footprints on it, so people use it a lot, and it's nice and clear to see where it goes.
This was also the year when I got to run with other people for the first time outside of a race scenario. I went for a run with Steve, who runs a local race, and also got to go out in the Peak District with Mornay. Here you can see we were on a half marathon route, which I think one of the racers use in the Peak District. Got to see some awesome terrain, and yeah, I got to see just how hard work it is up on those real big hills.
So I've never attempted that route again, never attempted a training run of 28 kilometers again, and it's a bit of a tricky decision to try and tackle the same thing again, but I figured I'm in better shape now. I've got more experience now. I should be able to tackle it again.
While still training for the Ultra that I'd got lined up in May, I decided to go back and tackle a 28-kilometre long run route which had beaten me in the past and led to an injury. Really struggled and had to limp home with my first ever bout of runner's knee the last time I tackled this route, so I decided to see if I could actually get it done this time. Wasn't great weather conditions, so that added to the challenge as I set off to try and beat the course.
Holy cow, that trail coming down from where Hunger Hill Lane finishes is absolutely mad. It's just like a single track roller coaster, all downhill, weaving and bobbing from left to right. I had to put the camera down and basically apply the brakes as it was trying to throw me down the hill, just to think how well the plan's been going, how well I've made decisions to deviate from it if I felt a niggle coming on, and I've decided to miss a run or two, and that's kept me going and stopped me from, hasn't stopped me from falling in that hole.
Without doubt, the hardest training run I've ever done came shortly afterwards when we tackled the Edale Skyline. We ended up doing 37 kilometres. I think the typical route is a little bit less than that, but we took a few detours along the way. Wasn't quite as easy to navigate as we would have hoped, but it was absolutely fantastic out there. The views unbelievable, never known anything like it. Next came the big one, the Shires and Spires Ultra. There goes Ultra Horse, who could forget that? Had a great time at this race. Phil and Ashley, who couldn't run the race with me in the end, turned out to support me, and it was just the best thing ever. Couldn't have imagined what a difference it made having two people there helping me out. They had the van decorated.
Cheers, guys. Going well. There it is. Right, just got to 50k in 6.5 hours. So that's a record for me. I think I did my first marathon during the last ultra, and that was 6 hours 25. So it's going a lot better this time, although I'm absolutely wasted now. Nearly there.
Here's number 439 and a prefix, and 444. 444 is Mark Grant, bottom up.
And because of my strange penchant for weird challenges, I decided to put all the worst local trails together into one horrendous circular route and go and tackle them, and just to see how bad some of the trails nearby can be.
This is where I was thinking of wearing leggings, but it's just too warm. So I'm risking all the nettle and bramble issues. Right, there's a little clearing at the end once you get out. And here's the exit. Oh gosh, this is the most overgrown bit I've seen. Oh, bird poo on the top of the post, that's delightful. Simply get down there, Mark.
And next on my list of things to try this year was my first ever park run. I went to Poolsbrook, had a really good run there. I think it's 3 laps around the water there, and then yeah, up the really steep finishing area. Just about finished me off, but yeah, it really made me realise that park run can be great fun, great way to test your fitness and meet up with some people. And yeah, this wasn't my last park run of the year or my fastest. One other challenge that I'd been trying to find the time to get around to doing was to tackle the Hult Mile, and a little mile section of the local trails dedicated to Tom Hewlett, a local runner who took part in the race where the 4-minute mile was first broken. So I decided to see how fast I could do that. Obviously wasn't quite as fast as Tom would have been, but I had a good time anyway. And here I am at my first ever 5k race. No walk in the park at Queen's Park in Chesterfield, organised by North Derbyshire Running Club, the same club I'm hoping to join this year. So I'm just lining up for the race in this shot. Got a pretty decent time, 5k PB at the end of it, so was happy with this, and obviously I enjoyed it enough to be going back in January. Wasn't long after that I decided to make best use of AI for putting my training plan together for me, and be my kind of virtual coach. So I've enjoyed using that ever since. AI now kind of knows how I like my training put together, and yeah, it seems to be working pretty well.
Wow, that was hard. You always know the race is going to be hard, but at the beginning you think, it's not so bad. I think I might have done it, guys. According to my watch, I got a 45.25.
here I am looking really pleased with myself after getting a 10k PB at the Mansfield 10k race. Really enjoyed that one, despite it lashing it down with rain for quite a lot of the race. Boy, it was a really good day.
Right guys, that's it. Bry Forest park run done for the first time. My time on my watch said 21:53. My 5k personal best is a 22:08 that I did on my first 5k race in Chesterfield recently, so fairly sure I've just set a new 5k personal best.
So here's happy me again, celebrating another 5k PB at my second ever park run, where I tackled Bry Forest and really enjoyed it.
So I'm guessing that Ian's seen my meteoric rise from couch to 5k a mere 4.5 years ago to now being able to finish in the mid-pack of a park run where the average age is about 67.
I also did my first Q&A on the channel this year, so lots of people kindly supplied questions for me to answer as I went out on this training run. And yeah, I covered all manner of topics, so that's well worth a watch if you want to go back and see that one. It was quite a good day answering all those random questions. So after a mostly successful year, things did take a bit of a turn towards the end, as I suffered with a bit of an ankle injury and had to do the Monsell Trail half marathon with a bit of a limp, but it didn't stop me from having a good time out there. Got a relatively decent time, and I'm sure I'll go back there one day and do it justice in full. But yeah, it was still a really good race, and had a bit of a quiet end to the year as I recovered from that injury, took my time and made sure I'd be ready to tackle the races I've got lined up for 2025. So thanks for joining me today guys. Do subscribe so you can see my video where I'm going to lay out my plans and race goals and everything that I've got lined up for 2025, which will be following shortly, along with the race I'm going to do on the 4th of January, my second attempt at the No Walk in the Park. Thanks again guys, I'll see you soon.